Hey everybody, welcome back to the Rebel Chums channel. Today we have the review of the Saberforge Unleashed Crystal Review lightsaber. I'm really excited to own this lightsaber. Initially I was very skeptical about the hilt design. I never could wrap my mind about having an open crystal chamber, but now I have this saber and now I own it and handle it. I have to say it's one of my very favorite lightsabers that I've owned ever, especially considered from Saberforge. This is with ease the best lightsaber from Saberforge I have owned. In terms of overall build quality, the feel, the handling, the weight, everything about this lightsaber makes me really happy every time I hold it. So let's take a look. We're starting with the emitter section. So we're starting with a close-up look on the emitter, and we see the bunny ears, we see the greebly, we see the slanted emitter, everything you have seen, for example, also on the original Graflex. We have the little brass contact pins on the side that were actually part of the original Graflex, which is a camera flash gun. And then we have the button, we have another greebly there in black. This one actually can be turned out. I'm going to show you really quick. It's just a screw in. I'm probably gonna put this one semi-temporarily inside the hilt with a dab of glue, so just I can't lose it. Put it back really quick because I really don't want to lose it. So here we go. If you don't like it, you actually can just take it out as well. Then we have the retention screw for the blade. We have a gold color blade plug by Saberforge. This is their old model. We have a little lip here, which is really cool in the emitter. You can see it's a really nice design. Nothing is sharp on the edges. This is just fantastic. It feels really good around. Powder coating elements. It has black powder coating elements going from the emitter all the way down and the side. So that's really cool. You can see some more of the awesome blade plug there. You can see the top of the bunny ears is held in place with a hex screw. And then we go a bit lower. We have the control section. This is really nice. You can see it has a tactile switch on the top. Then we turn it around. We have the crystal review chamber. And turn around the lightsaber, showing the turning around the lightsaber, showing that crystal review chamber. Beautiful crystal, very nice. They smoothen out the crystal to make it look really beautiful. You can see nice brass elements there. You can see the ribs. Sorry, you can see some sweat stains on the lightsaber now because I'm handling it and I'm shredding my ass off here. Then we have the recharge port, micro USB charge port. It's external, but it has a black faceplate, so it blends in nice with that west body or that waist here. So that's really nice. And then a little bit lower we have the rest of the body. So it has these metal struts on the outside that held in place with little hex screws. You can see there's a little bit of space here, but I kind of like that actually. You can see that little space there. Then this part is all black. Now on the Monarch or the higher tier of this lightsaber, they actually paint this in gold color or brass color. I might do it myself, because it's not that difficult. Just take off these struts, paint this part, put the struts back, and that's it. So I might do that at some point because I do miss it a little bit on this hilt, because that is so iconicable about that lightsaber with the crystal review chamber. And then it has a brass cover tag wheel, which I requested from Saberforge when I ordered it over Etsy. Then it has a flat pommel design with ripped edges, so it's easy to undo the pommel. Now there's no need to undo the pommel because there's literally nothing to see besides the speaker. This Saberforge Unleashed actually contains the new polycarbonate chassis. Going back to the control section for a moment, this is one departure from Saberforge where the Prodigal Son, the Redeemer and some other lightsabers have a plastic control box panel, which is just a flimsy plastic thing. This is actually milled out of brass, this whole piece here, so it's solid, it's much better, and I really like that. I don't know why Saberforge doesn't do that for the other lightsaber designs they have with a control box. Either way, it has a small tactile switch which is pointing out of the control box. There's a second hole there if you have a hero tier lightsaber, then you have one for the auxiliary button and one to turn on and off the lightsaber. So let's turn it on. It's really easy to use. Push the button once. The master. It's a light side sound font. Let's turn it on. Nice red LED. I like that a lot. And here's the crystal chamber ignited. You can see how cool that looks. It has 2 red LEDs in the bottom of the crystal as a source of light, so you can see why it's so bright, and that's really cool. In a dark environment, this crystal lights up really well, and it shows up beautiful. Now I have a lot of backlight from LEDs above it to make this video, so you can't really see that, but it's really nice and bright, and it looks overall really cool. So you can see some nice shots with the crystal from the sides of the ribs. It's really awesome. Due to the design of the pommel and the used speaker by the Saberforge in this particular case, it's a little bit less loud than, for example, my Saberforge Cyphos, which I feel is louder than this hilt, but nonetheless still a very cool lightsaber. I'm very happy with it. So what I'm gonna do now is measure up the lightsaber. I'm gonna look at how long. I'm gonna measure up this lightsaber from tip to bottom. I'm gonna take the longest point of the emitter all the way to the end of the lightsaber. It's around 11.5 inches in length. That is really nice. It's actually shorter than I expected. I thought this lightsaber to be longer and bigger. I just had a more of expectation of it, I think, in terms of my mind of how long Kalen Merrick or Starkiller would have his lightsaber, and actually it's a really nice compact hilt for the length. Now the blade socket itself is a bit shallow. It's around 1/2 inches deep. Every lightsaber with a blade depth of less than 1.5 inches is, in my case, personally, I'm not a big fan of lightsabers that have a blade socket of less than 1.5 inches if it's not a thin neck saber. It's just a little bit less ideal. I rather have around 2 inches or more in terms of blade depth, because it just eliminates more of the blade wobble, and it just feels more solid when the blade is in the hilt itself. So now we're gonna weight the saber. Gonna put her on vertically. It makes it a bit easier for me to weight the saber. She weighs 1.270 lb, which is 0.577 kg / 577 grams, which is relatively heavy. It's over 1/2 kg. And then we have 0.15.4 T and 0.15.3 CA. So wherever you are in the world, you know what kind of weight you can expect of this lightsaber. It's definitely more on the heavy side, but that's what I really want to see in a lightsaber. I like my lightsabers to have a weight of more than 1/2 kg if can, because it makes them feel much more weighty, of course, but also they feel more like an actual Star Wars prop out of a Star Wars universe. So I just popped in the blade, so we're gonna take a look at this lightsaber ignited with a blade. And here we go. Turn on the lightsaber.
The master.
So boot her up at first out of sleep mode. Lightsaber on. As you can see, in this case, this particular sound font is configured with a heavy flicker. It's all configurable with the Sabercore application available for Windows 10 64-bit. You can see the crystal is quite visible, but despite having such a bright light above it. You can see the nice flickering of the blade. It's really nice. I really like it. So it also has flash and class. It has flash and class in terms of the light flickering when you have an impact. It's not same like a Tri-Cree flash and class, but let me move the lightsaber a little bit. So it's very sensitive. This is Sabercore 3.0, so it's super sensitive. And of course, he has clash sounds as well. So it's really nice. Again, you can configure all these settings, so you can make it more sensitive, less sensitive. You can choose however sensitive you want to have it or not. Overall, very cool lightsaber. I'm very happy to own it. And if you're looking for a Starkiller lightsaber that has a nice crystal review, is relatively simple in design. There's not much going on there, and so it's just a clean crystal chamber. It's a clean body design. It has a nice heft to it. It just overall looks really good. I like the control box. I like that Saberforge actually has a tactile switch instead of an AV switch, which they had on the original Monarch in this area. I wish they could actually get rid of the external recharge port and made it internally on a chassis that you could slide out, and then you have an recharge port, something that Saber Trio has, or Electrum Sabers crafts. You open the chassis and then you have the recharge port on the chassis itself, versus having it external, because it takes a bit away from the immersion of the lightsaber overall. But since this is a black plate, it helps a bit more to blend in. A few things that I wish they were better on this lightsaber. I wish at least this recharge port area would be recessed in this hill part, so it was all flat with this round part, so it didn't stick out like it does now. That would be a bit better in my personal opinion. The blade depth, I wish it was around 2 inches deep, but then again the blade, the emitter would be stretched out another ½ inch and it would look a little bit awkward. But then again, I wouldn't mind that so much if it was like ½ inch longer. I wouldn't have minded. The reason for that being is then I have more gripping area on the emitter section, because the gripping area on the crystal chamber section is not that great. It feels awkward, it feels not correct. And if this would be a real lightsaber, I don't know if I would burn my hands off by having the crystal so close to my hand. I know lightsabers shouldn't ignite heat from the crystal or the blade, but surely if you touch the ignited crystal, I think it would cut off your finger like the actual plasma of the blade itself. I don't know if that's true in the lore or not, but it's just a weird, uncomfortable way to hold it. Plus, if you press it so hard, maybe you push the crystal down and it maybe damages the crystal chamber area. So it's just not how I want to hold it, although you can do it, of course. So normally I hold it in this area on the gripping section, and then another hand around here, and then the bunny ears facing the inside of my palm, just like this. Is not ideal, but if this was ½ inch in longer, I had more gripping area, then I could grip it probably a bit better like this. One thing I also have to note is that the body is a lot thicker than most Saberforge Elite Sabers in this area because of those struts. So it's a very thick hilt, and I like that a lot. It's just my preference. I like the fatter hilts, the bigger dimensions. I don't like the sword real life like thin hilts. Most cases those are a bit too tiny for my hands, and they feel a bit off in my hands. This is perfectly fine for me. It's definitely more of a one-hander, so more normally I just hold it in one-handed because the second hand is just so awkward to hold. So I imagine that I use this as a one-hander, and my other hand I use it like something like a Sith Inquisitor. I use like Force Lightning or Force Push or another Force power to actually operate with my other hands while I'm holding the lightsaber with one hand. So what do you think about this lightsaber? Let us know in the comments. I'm really keen to know, do you like this lightsaber from Saberforge? I'm super surprised with the overall quality from Saberforge. This is a really good lightsaber, period. So let me know in the comments what you think about it. Are you grabbing one yourself, or are you gonna skip on it and you're gonna get another Starkiller lightsaber from another awesome sabersmith or saber company? Let us know, because there's a lot of Starkillers out there in the market from different companies and various quality. So let me know. Thanks for watching, everybody, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.